Tuesday morning. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys all had a great trading day yesterday. Welcome to the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope you guys are ready to have a phenomenal trading day today. I know yesterday a lot of people that utilized the Thinkorswim platform were down, unable to get some trades in, so you may or may not have partaken in yesterday's sideways, boring trading day, and that's kind of what we wind up having yesterday. There were a couple of decent opportunities in our crude oil trade, so we'll cover that one. But for the most part, not a whole lot of movement yesterday. And so, we're going to dive in here in just a moment. Real quick reminder, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central is our live daily market commentary. You don't want to miss it. Make sure that you join us live tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. I would ask that you share it with a friend, invite a bud, come over and watch. You bring the coffee, I'll bring the energy. All right, let's get started. So the ES this morning, we are up 7 points, just about. And we had a little breakout area here yesterday that we had said we need some basing at this gray box. And we got the basing at that gray box. So no doubt this set up for a quality breakout. Now, in that style of a breakout, your stop has to go below the prior pivot. So here's our prior pivot. So we did get the breakout right here, but it didn't come until 6 o'clock in the evening. So for most traders, you're probably not taking that trade at 6 o'clock in the evening, as it's not the best time of the day. Now, if you did take it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later, the market was basically back where you got in. Maybe you took half a point of a loss. It told you, hey, this isn't working, you should probably get out. And then it popped below the stop. So if you took the breakout, hopefully you didn't take any loss on that position, any more than maybe half a point. I mean, it's basically a break-even trade. And then we've gotten a rally here lately. So now I'm going to remove this. I wouldn't consider this a false breakout, but it's definitely not a successful breakout trade. We would like to see that thing continue to run. But after 6 candles, it didn't go anywhere. We did, though, over in the London Open, get a pretty decent rally. So now what I'll do is take a look at this little wick over wick area here on the hourly chart. In case you were sleeping on the reversal and you'd like to give a chance to get in, you may get a little opportunity here at this 3382 by 3379 wick over wick area that we've got here. If you want to go a bit smaller on there, you could even go down to the 15-minute. And I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to trim that down a bit and just take that there. So you've got a much smaller risk area now utilizing this 15-minute zone. Moving over to the Nasdaq. So in the Nasdaq, we also had a breakout. Here was our breakout trade. Now this one came a little bit later in the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later, we had basically gone nowhere. So same thing happens here in the Nasdaq, although we do at this exact moment have a new all-time high, as our standing kind of all-time high breakout is still there. So, we would anticipate that prices would go higher than here. And how much higher? Well, I look at this almost as an inverted head and shoulders. Now, typically an inverted head and shoulders would come after a big move down. But let's take a look at that for a potential target of where this thing can go. And if we just use that measurement, right, of that kind of bottom of the head to what would be considered the neckline, you're looking at a target of around 11.7. 11,669 would be the top of this measured move if we take it from the bottom of the head up to this neckline. And so could we get another 400 points in the Nasdaq? Why not? We got plenty of room for price to continue to run. There's no overhead supply, so there's no opportunity for us to get short. So we would look for a demand level to get long on a pullback. So if you do get a bit of a pullback, you do have a little bit of a demand level right here. If we slide down to the 15-minute, similar to the S&P, you've got a little level right in here to take a look at 11,298. In the Russell, we're actually in the Russell still between our areas of supply and demand. It's still the weaker of our two markets, of the 3 markets we looked at this morning. And so if you're looking at this for a breakout trade, it's got to be somewhere up above here with basing right in this level. That would be the only way to take the breakout. But I don't love either one of them because of this supply area up above. Now, I think that's actually a pretty good supply area. Our Russell on a 4-hour chart is very, very much sideways. And so until we get through one of these areas of supply or demand, it's a bit weaker. Moving over to crude oil. So in crude yesterday, we had talked about the supply level above us as we were bouncing off of this area of demand. So we said that this makes a really, really good target and could be a bit of a reversal point. Well, the market cut right through that like a knife through butter. And so we got a really nice move off of our demand area here, and the market has now continued to rally up. And so as we've rallied up our 4-hour trend, that was able to give us a new high. By this low, when we talked about this, if we get through this area here and we're able to get a new high, then demand areas become much, much more palatable on pullbacks as an opportunity to go long. We gapped up last night, and then we retested the gap fill area and then got a little rally higher. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove these levels down here, and I'm going to look at this little wick over wick area right there as a potential reversal point later today, 42.55 by 42.49. That would be the area in there, 42.55 by 42.49 on a 1-hour chart. In gold, so in gold yesterday, we had a little bit of basing right in here, and one of the members sent me a text, and unfortunately I didn't get back to you in time, about a gold breakout, and absolutely we had a setup for a gold breakout because we came to this short confirmation entry and the market blew right through it, which is fine. It gives us no entry on that position, the fact that we blew right through it and the market just continued to go up from that zone. So we would want to remove that level at this point and allow price to continue to run. Now, we do have a supply level coming up here. It has to be a confirmation entry. Our 4-hour is back to giving us a lot of strength, so I believe that 1-hour probably going to get sliced right through. If we get basing inside that 1-hour, it's going to make for a good breakout, but it ultimately has to only be a confirmation short if you want to take it. Now, it's a pretty clean supply area, by the way. This one here, as well as the one up above it. I like the one down here a bit lower because it's a better time of day. So it's actually a pretty clean supply level in case we do trade into that area. But in looking at that zone, I think I would need to trade into that with no basing. And right now we're basing less than 2 to 1 away from the level. So looking below our current price for a bit of a retracement point, I think this makes for a pretty decent retracement level if we get a pullback right there to 2,000, which also gives us a bit of whole round number support. So I'm going to make this a confirmation entry, but remember it's confirmation entry at best because of the basing before the level. Moving over to bonds and currencies, I really don't have a whole lot to add from yesterday's markets. We are, this move up on the ZN is starting to actually show a little bit of weakness. So keep an eye right here. We've got a little bit of touches in through here. We've got one touch through here. If we get basing there for a breakdown, we may get a little bit of a move down from here. I see that there's slowing momentum on the way up. That slowing momentum on the way up is usually a signal for a reversal. The Aussie definitely continuing its rally higher. So on a bit of a pullback in the Aussie, we have a really nice level right in through here. So I think this is a very clean area of demand at 0.72 by 0.7195. I think that's a really nice clean area of demand right there formed near U.S. market open. So very strong time of the day if indeed we get a pullback into that region. We may not get a pullback into that region today, and we're coming up to some hourly supply, but that hourly supply we're coming up to, remember, has to be a confirmation entry at best. Theoretically, if we get basing, you could look for a breakout above 72.44, but you don't have 3 touches as of yet. In the euro, very similar picture. We are coming up to this level here in the euro, this 1.1926. And so when I look at the euro, I'm going to look below for a reversal time period, and this right here would be my preferred reversal in the euro. It's not a great time of day, I will say that. This is not the best time of the day, and so it's slightly lower probability just because of time of day, but the structure is good from that move away. Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar, we had a supply level up above us, which we said is confirmation at best. We were basing in front of it. We've rallied up through it, so obviously this is no bueno. So we're going to look a bit lower to this area right in here for a potential reversal point. And that essentially takes the old area of supply. If I put that back on, it's just a little bit below that old area of supply and looks at that as potential demand right in through here on this pullback. Now, if I go to the daily chart, let's go to a daily, something a bit bigger. We have this line drawn here as kind of a target. This was a target from some of our longs down below us. I don't know that that sets up for a potential breakout at the moment. Went all the way back to the 60-minute chart. The reason we had it was because of one touch, two touch. So technically it does follow the rules of a breakout if we get quality basing in here. When I look at room to roam, I'd have to go back to the hourly chart and look above. And when I look at room to roam, I might have some room to roam in here, especially if we get up above this region, because you might have all the way up here. I'm just going to move this one down as a, not delete that, move this one down as a potential price magnet, because that's the origin of a very strong drop in price. And that gives us enough room to kind of run up there. So all those areas of demand that we're taking a look at in the Canadian dollar. Looking at the Great British Pound is coming up to that same supply area that same resistance point that we've talked about. It doesn't set up for a breakout as of yet. I clearly don't have three touches as of yet, but I do have a nice reversal point right here, 1.3134 for a potential reversal if price pulls back into that region. And then the Japanese yen, we had a nice entry here on our Japanese yen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles later. The market had not given us a reason for an entry, a reason for to stay in the trade, and it's 6 candles us out at about break even, maybe a small loss, but certainly not to your stop loss point, which is why we do the 6 candle rule, right? Now, what that did though was give us a breakout opportunity to go long on a pullback up to here. So if you didn't take that, I'm going to leave this in here. I'm just going to change the color to a goldenrod because it's now a little bit of a flip level. So a couple of levels added today that I think are worth taking a look at. Hopefully your platform agrees with you today and you're able to get in and make some trades. And remember that today could be the greatest trading day of your entire career. And it could be a bad day. Doesn't matter. Don't let your emotions get too high or too low either way. Understand that this is a journey and you're going one step at a time. And in anything I can do to help, I am here to help you the best way that I can. So I appreciate you joining me today. If you have any questions, as always, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Till tomorrow, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. Remember, live session tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Join me. Talk to you soon. See you.